Good afternoon, everyone. Today, my 2021 summer adventure continues here in Somerset, Pennsylvania. It was here back in 2002 that the Q Creek coal mine flooded, trapping 9 miners some 240 feet beneath the earth. What happened here over the next 4 days is nothing short of amazing. So come with me as we visit the Q Creek mine rescue site. We begin our visit here in Monument Park, where we are greeted by a 7-foot bronze coal miner that is overlooking the actual rescue site. Before we make our way down to the rescue site, let me give you a little background on what actually happened here almost 20 years ago. On July 24, 2002, 18 coal miners working in the Q Creek mine accidentally breached a wall on an abandoned mine which had been flooded several years before. This breach released about 75 million gallons of water into the Q Creek mine. 9 of the 18 miners working in this section of the Q Creek mine managed to escape, and 9 others were trapped. With the help of the 9 miners who escaped, rescue workers were able to pinpoint an approximate location of where the trapped miners would be. That location was here, about 240 feet below the earth, on this dairy farm, about a mile from the Q Creek mine entrance. About 2 a.m., rescue workers began drilling an air shaft, and about 3 hours later, the drill broke through into the shaft where the miners were thought to be. A pipe was inserted, and rescue workers banged on the metal pipe. They received 3 bangs in return, a sure sign that at least some of the miners were alive. Over the next 4 days, a massive rescue effort took place. A rescue shaft was carefully drilled, and shortly after midnight, on July 28th, a rescue capsule was lowered into the shaft. About 30 minutes later, the first miner was pulled safely to the surface. Over the next few hours, one by one, the 8 other miners were also brought to the surface. From the miner statue in Memorial Park, it's just a short walk down this path to the actual rescue site. Back in 2002, this site was crowded with heavy equipment, drills, air compressors, EMS and medical personnel, along with the rescue command post. Today, it's a quiet historical site that is still part of a working dairy farm. I'm not sure what this piece of equipment is. It may be an air compressor that was used to pump fresh air down to the trapped miners. This is one of 2 rescue shafts that were drilled on the site. This shaft was started when work on shaft 1 was halted due to some problems with the drill, but it later resumed. This shaft was part of the backup plan that actually reached 150 feet before being stopped. The trapped miners were actually trapped in a small air pocket in one of the mine's shafts. This large airlock was designed with the help of the United States Navy and was to be used to maintain the air pocket in the event that the water surrounding the miners couldn't be pumped out. As it turned out, I think enough water was pumped out that the airlock was never used. Walking around the corner here from the airlock, we're going to come to the air shaft, 6-inch air shaft that was used to first communicate with the miners and then to pump air down to the miners. Once this 6-inch air shaft broke through, rescuers banged on it in an attempt to see if the miners would answer back. The miners did by banging on the metal pipe, letting those on the surface know that at least some of them were still alive. Later, the miners banged 9 times, signaling to the rescuers on the surface that all 9 were still alive. Fresh air was pumped down this air shaft for the duration of the rescue, which drastically improved the quality of air that the miners were breathing. Just a few feet from the air shaft is the actual rescue shaft. At about 12:30 a.m. on July 28th, an 8-foot-high steel mesh capsule was lowered down the shaft. One by one, each of the trapped miners were brought safely to the surface. The final miner reached the surface at about 2:45 a.m., and the Q Creek miracle was complete. The Q Creek Mine Rescue Site also features a small museum. Underneath the museum's back porch, we find the actual drill and bit that was used to drill the rescue shaft. And inside the museum is the actual rescue capsule that was used to hoist the miners to the surface. Admission to the museum is by donation. If you want to hear all the details of the rescue, there's a very nice lady on site that will take you through the events of the rescue, right down to the smallest detail. A full narrated tour will take you about 90 minutes. This concludes my visit to the Q Creek Mine Rescue Site here in Somerset, Pennsylvania. I hope you found something interesting in this video. If you did, be sure to give me a thumbs up. And if you're so inclined, leave me a comment. It's always good to hear from you. And my summer adventure is just getting started. So if you want to keep up with all of my travels, be sure to ring that bell and subscribe. Now, as I continue my summer adventure, just remember, life is a wonderful journey. Take time to enjoy it. And I'll see you down the road. So long, everyone.